Hey guys, today's Friday, May the 15th. This is our last video lesson. We just do a review over this chapter 19, which is fluid balance, pretty short chapter. So today, make sure you're working on the quick checks, which are due on Monday. If you finish them, want to send them to me today, that's fine. The test that we're going to have is going to be on Wednesday morning, okay, May the 20th, of the chapter we're reviewing today, chapter 19. So I'll send that to you Wednesday morning on a Google form. There's no exams for this semester. Okay, so this is just a chapter test. It will be averaged in with the other chapter tests for the fourth 9 weeks, and then your semester grade will be the average of the third and fourth 9 weeks. Okay, so if you have a question about that, let me know. I don't have really anything for you on Monday or Tuesday, just a study and send in the quick checks on Monday. Okay, so let's go back over this chapter on fluid and electrolyte balance. Hopefully you watch the videos on Monday and Wednesday, and I'll just go through this. This is what you need to study. All right, so study these notes. If you missed anything, pay attention. All right, so this chapter is about fluid and electrolyte balance. Fluid balance just means the homeostasis of fluid. Remember, homeostasis is the consistency in your body to maintain a daily life cycle. Okay, so really what we're looking here is input of fluids versus output of fluids, okay, to maintain that balance. All right, so first thing we have to do is look at electrolytes. These are substances such as salt that dissolve or break apart in water solution. So when they break apart in water solution, you have really sodium and chlorine. So those are electrolytes. And there's other ones as well, as sodium, potassium, bicarbonate, different ones, okay? But electrolytes are the substances that break apart in the water solution. Remember, your body's made of a lot of water. So our bodies must maintain not only a proper water balance, but a proper balance of the electrolytes that's in the water. So you can't get too much balance. You have to maintain a balance between like sodium, potassium. Too much potassium or too much sodium would cause problems. So you don't want too much. That's why you don't want too much salt in your diet. Okay, just balance of that. All right, so fluid compartments, basically there's two of them, the ICF and the ECF. ICF means intracellular fluid. This is within the cells. ECF is extracellular fluids outside the cell. Now the ECF broken down in these two. There's IF, which is intraterrestrial fluid, microscopic spaces between cells, and then blood vessels. Remember, plasma is a liquid portion of the blood. Okay, so those are examples of extracellular fluid. Okay, 60% of the body weight in the average adult is water. You see more in infants. Okay, so the breakdown of those fluid compartments would be 4% and 16%. Okay, so that's plasma and the IF. So that's together, you add those together, that's 20% ECF. Okay, 4% plasma, which is in the blood vessels, and then 60% of the IF. Okay, then you have the other 40% would be the ICF, the intracellular fluid within the cells. Okay, so that's the breakdown. There's a table on page 431 that kind of breaks that down a little bit better visually so you can see it. Okay. All right, mechanisms that maintain fluid balance. There's several of them here. Concentration of electrolytes in the ECF. The capillary blood pressure, that's why it's important to have good blood pressure. Concentration of proteins that are in the blood. There's some other ones, but those are the three main ones. All right, let's look at fluid output. There's fluid outputs, urine volumes, basically what we're talking about, but there's other fluid output like sweat and so forth. But you lose fluid through kidneys mainly, but also your lungs, through your lungs with, your exhaling, and in your skin and your intestine, you also have fluid output, okay? But urine volume is a big one, okay? So the fluid output that changes the most is from the kidneys. Okay, dehydration is the loss of fluids in your body and not maintaining a proper balance. So the first sign of this is dry mouth, sensation for thirst, and whenever you're thirsty, you really need to drink water. Okay, further dehydration could cause problems with dizziness and nausea and so forth. You don't want to do that. Right, sources of fluid intake to our bodies are the liquids we drink, the waters and the foods that we eat if we get a good balanced diet, and then also catabolism, which means breaking apart, chemical break down the foods we eat. Okay, that's the way we take intake of fluid into our body. Okay, so drinking water is important. Okay. Electrolytes in body fluid, remember the non-electrolytes are organic substances that do not break apart when placed in water. So glucose is the cellular energy used for cellular energy. Your body needs glucose, and the foods that you eat usually are chemically, after they're digested and absorbed, they're chemically broken down into glucose. So your body can use them. Okay, so the electrolytes are like sodium chloride. Those are in the body fluids, and they have ions that are dissociated particles of electrolyte that carry an electrical charge. So sodium would be a positive charge, chlorine would be a negative charge. All right, so there's examples. Sodium's Na, plus, that's a plus charge. K is potassium, that's a plus charge, positive. And chlorine, Cl, that's a negative charge. Okay, these are ions. So after that breaks apart, that's what disassociated means, to break apart. Okay, bicarbonate's another one. That's not necessarily a compound, but still acts as an ion. Right, in blood plasma, mostly the most abundant and important is sodium. Okay, so you also have potassium, calcium, magnesium, but sodium's very abundant. Okay, you want to keep a good balance, especially between sodium and potassium. Here's some other ones. These are negative. Chlorine and bicarbonate are both negative, whereas sodium, potassium, calcium, and magnesium, these are all positive. Okay, so you have to have a good balance between positive and negative electrolytes in your blood plasma. Right, fluid imbalances. Of course, we mentioned dehydration. This is the most common. Can be potentially dangerous condition, so you need to pay attention to that. But overhydration is also a fluid imbalance. It's not as common. Example may be if they were giving you IV, they gave it to you too quickly, overhydrated, but the body would get sick. But it's just not very common. All right, make sure you read on page 439 about Claude Bernard. Okay, it's just very interesting. Your little green box. Okay, so gives you an overview there. All the questions from the test on Wednesday will come from these chapter notes. Okay, so, and also from your quick checks. Okay, I may pull a few. I'll look through the quick checks, and if there's some questions on there, I may have one or two questions that may not cover your notes that are covered in your quick checks. So make sure you do your quick checks. Send those to me either today or Monday. Okay. Anything else you need to email me? That's all I got for you today. All right, and talk to you later.